Okay, so we're almost at the end of the year. In terms of the new rules we're brought in this year, how has it affected you? How do you think it's gone?
Well, it's been a little bit more beneficial for our team. I think giving DPC points to pretty much all placements was a really good move compared to last year. It's like we as Optic were probably one of the best 8 teams in the world last year, but we couldn't manage to qualify to TI, so we had a couple of teams who just got placements really early on, and because we weren't able to break top 4 at events when every single event had the top 4 teams in the world at them, it was near impossible to get points. So this year we're actually qualified to TI, so no qualifiers for us.
Has that made it much less stressful generally?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was stressful to get to the point where we were invited to TI, but now that we are, like these last couple of tournaments that we have in the season before TI, there's way less to lose.
Yeah. Because Crit told me, when I spoke to Crit from EG, he said that their first early placement quite highly meant the whole season felt quite easy. Has there been a lack of challenge this year in terms of if you're looking the end goal to be to qualify to TI?
I mean, that's a good answer. Like the end goal is to qualify to TI just because the prize pools and everything, like in comparison to TI, is just so small. So you kind of punch your ticket there, like that's where your eyes are going, that's where your goals are. But events throughout the year, like it kind of isn't though. Like they're always just kind of like practice, right? And it's still really fun to compete, and it can be rewarding. I mean, the prize pools aren't nothing.
Yeah.
$1 million tournaments, $300,000 tournaments. It's a lot of cash. Up for grabs. But in compare everything is kind of a TI shadow.
You've been playing for a long time now. This is your 4th or 5th season as a full-time player. Would you say that this season is more stressful, more hectic than previously? Just in terms of the amount of events and qualifiers?
Yeah, I think the qualifiers have been pretty stressful and difficult to deal with. Also, just not really having breaks in between tournaments. The timing of the end of the major and the major qualifiers beginning a couple days later is pretty taxing. You generally want to peak as a Dota team. You kind of have these up periods and down periods. So you try to peak at the major, for example, is when you want to be playing your best, and that's also kind of when you're the most stressed. If that makes sense. Because you've been pushing so hard for so long to kind of get to that point, and then to have to go play qualifiers immediately after that can be difficult.
Was the minor run from minor to the major, was that really difficult, or was it quite good because it gave you a lot of momentum?
It was pretty difficult. I mean, the minor is, even though we won, it's still very stressful. And then we go to the major where we did pretty well. It's also just it's just all stress. And then we went to the major qualifiers and then minor qualifiers after that. So we played Dota for a very long time, continuously after that.
Do you get better as a team doing that, or is it a detriment?
It depends. It's that idea of peaking and going up and down. Sometimes you go too far. You peaked and then you go back down. So it can get worse. And it's important to have breaks and really take advantage of those off days to de-stress. So, for me, for example, after we were eliminated from Paris, I just booked a flight the same night, and I got an extra 3 or 4 days at home, which is. It doesn't sound like a lot, but when your next event starts if I didn't go home, I'd go home on Monday and the qualifiers start on Wednesday. So I actually got 4 to 5 days of time off, whereas most people, they're not playing at the tournament, but they only got 1 or 2 days of being at home and kind of resetting. So I think that reset's really important.
We talked about TI earlier. A lot of people have told me they think the TI prize pool is too high and it should be distributed across the year. Do you agree with that? Or do you like having the big pie in the sky of TI as an end goal?
I think that we're all pretty lucky to have TI. The prize pool is good and bad, right, for a ton of different reasons. But it's just kind of what's in front of us. It's kind of like a new balance patch. People ask me, "Oh, do you like the patch?" And it doesn't really matter to me because I'm just competing with what's being thrown at me, and that's my job as a competitor, is just to work around the circumstances. So TI is. I mean, it would be nice if there was, I don't know, the whole DPC thing. It's something we all really wanted. We wanted these strict regulations about how people get qualified to TI, and then nowadays you think, maybe we were better off without it. right? Maybe the system back then actually wasn't as bad as it was, but people keep trying to like make Valve do things, and I think that's a terrible idea. I think Valve has done a pretty fantastic job in creating one of the most successful esports communities in the world. Dota, or at least the Dota community in general, has done that with Valve's help with Dota 2. So it's not so bad. People just like to complain.
Yeah. Does it even matter to you, DPC, if they changed up totally next year? Are you always just going to play and do your job and do what you're told?
Or I don't know. I mean, I've played Dota my entire life.
Yeah.
But I definitely, you can try to facilitate change. It just takes organization, and it takes work. And I think that most people in Dota are too busy and too caught up in their own lives to work together to make that kind of a change.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and Valve is, you got to bring a pretty convincing argument to say, Valve, hey, listen to us, because they're the game devs, they're the all-powerful gods of the esports space, and they kind of get to do whatever they want to do. So why should they listen to anyone?
Okay. Would you like them to be more like an Old Testament god rather than a New Testament god, a little bit more involved? Perhaps.
I don't know. It just depends on how they would do it and how it would work. If Dota being more organized and community run, it could be interesting. But I do think that Valve is a pretty realistic look on esports, and I think that all of these third-party companies, that's Teamworks, Event Orgs, media portals, a lot of them are really banking on esports being a revenue-driven space at some point, a lot of investor money into it. But realistically, the only people that are actually making money are the game devs, which is why Dota is such a cool esport, because you see TI and you look at it and you look at that ridiculous prize pool and you go, that's actual money.
Yeah.
Right?
It's not betting companies or anything.
Yeah, but it's that's actual money being put in by consumers, which is kind of what everybody else is wanting to get to eventually.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're just way ahead of the game.
Okay. And if for next season the system is exactly the same, would that be a disappointment for you, or would you be happy with the consistency across years?
I would like there to be improvements, right, every year, an ever-evolving system. That's all you can really hope for. So I think that there's definitely some opportunities for changes, especially around the qualifiers. And I also think that tournaments just last entirely too long.
Okay.
Every tournament we go to is 7 to 9 days. I feel like we can cut that down to 4 to 6 pretty easily. But maybe that just I just think that people are sorry to get too pessimistic. I just think that these events, ESL is such a great event. Is it economically viable? Is it economically responsible? We're building expectations of grandeur for these events, and then everyone else thinks that they have to compete with these events that aren't making money. And then at some point, nobody's going to be making money, and the plug is going to be pulled. And that's why I think it's esports is such a cool thing, because it was brought on by the internet age and the internet generation. I personally really like watching esports tournaments from my apartment.
Yeah.
Right, and that's why people talk about the ideas of virtual reality stadiums. I think it's fantastic. Not that VR or that experience is ready yet, but I just don't know if I went to a lot of stadiums this year that were really empty.
Imagine, yeah.
So I'm just not sure that I know we're trying to make this all into real sports, and that's the comparison we're going after. I just don't know if this phenomenon is identical to professional sports.
You'd like it to be its own path, not copy.
I don't think we need to. I think that if you want to run a Dota event, do it responsibly. Don't spend $5 million. Spend one, and do a really nice job on the production. 95% of your audience is online.
Yeah.
Just make it awesome. Make it really awesome for the players. Make it really awesome for the casters, and the talent, and everybody, and just put on a really good show. Because it's a complex subject, but you kind of see where I'm going, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's what I've got for you, actually. So thanks a lot for coming out. Good luck with.
Sorry for maybe rambling too much.
Oh no, rambling's good.
That's what you want, right?
Yeah.